basically giving an impression of an emerging Midge pupa. And this is a quilled version here. But I'm going to actually tie the next one, which basically is the same material in the body, but I'll just leave the Herl on it. And then it's here. It comes from the Peacock eye. And this is what the quill looks like. There's you can see the eye colour there. Before you remove the fine Herl, as I say, I'm going to keep the Herl on this one just to show you. Now the good sort of tying method in this fly is using up your CDC feathers really well. Now I'm going to start off with a UTC thread. This is the 70, which is the finer in black. Now we start at the eye and just put down a layer of thread all the way around the shank to this point here. Then I'm going to remove the waste piece and tidy up with a couple of turns. I'm just going to get my peacock eye, just a single fibre. Now what I do is I just tear it away, and that leaves this fine sort of curly part right at the bottom of the base there of the fibre. Makes it easier to tie it in. Now one side of the quill has Herl and the other side doesn't. And the way I tie that in is to have the side without the Herl sort of sitting on the top. Just bring a loose turn of thread round, and then wind up nice and tight until basically in line with the point of the hook. Now to obviously make the fly last that wee bit longer, I'm going to use some super glue and wind the quill onto that, which will make the fly last that much longer. And all you're doing is sort of winding up, making that space, as you can see. Makes for a great body. This point here and across your thread. And just take the thread up a bit and then break it away. Now I'm going to change my thread to the uni thread in 8O in black. This one here. Now the reason is that, especially with the CDC, I prefer to use a round thread, which the uni thread is, whereas the UTC is flat. I just feel there's more strength in it. Now I'm just going to wax the thread here. Just tidy up that area. Then to give the impression of Wingbuds, I'm just going to use this as a neon or a Chinese red uni floss. You can use whatever you've got. I'm just going to use this as Wingbuds. Just pull it in. You can do like a figure 8 through. So all the ends, making sure they're out of the way. Tidy up. Cut them both the same length. This is a Chinese red, but you could use orange, you could chartreuse, you could use whatever you like. I'm just using my nail here just to flatten it back a bit. That'll do fine. You see, it makes for a nice, gives a great colour. Doing that figure 8 spreads it out a wee bit. You can have it flat if you want, it's up to yourself. Now once we've got our body ready and our Wingbuds on, we need to get a couple of CDC feathers. Now normally I would use in a fly this side about 4, but I'm only going to use 2 here. I've got one on top of the other. This is like a medium sized feathers. I'm just going to pull the fibres in. You're looking for a wing length, at least the length of the hook, this tied back. And it's a very simple way, and you can see the natural curve coming up from the hook. Now what we do is tie this in, nice and tight. Now a wee bit of wax on the thread to make sure we've got grip. Now leave yourself a space at the front, at least a headroom, and then come back down. Now you could use some black seal's fur, you could use a mix of, which I'll do is black seal's fur here and a tiny bit of peacock glister. There you got it. So a tiny wee bit of the flash, just add it to it and then mix it. Now don't go crazy, don't put a big thorax on it. Just slide it up. All I'm doing here is stretching it out, keeping it reasonably thin. If you have too much bulk, what happens when you bring the CDC over, it may not reach. Make sure you get up towards the head. There we go. Do it fine. Now I'm going to put a wee bit of wax on, bring that to the front with a couple of turns, bring over the ends of the CDC, come in, nice and tight, position them at this point so you get them to sit. You've got the two ends, you can pull them, tighten them up if you want, and then just keep going back and forward with 2 or 3 turns either side. And then varnish. What I'm going to do here is put varnish on the thread. They don't cut the CDC feathers until you've varnished the tied off. Much easier to hold them at this point like there and pull them back. And then tighten up. Just caught something there, just have to take it out of the way, that's fine. And then trim. And then what I do is just simply come up from the underside, cut an angle, and there we are. Now what this does, you see these two stiff parts of the two bits of the stem, basically it makes the fly a wee bit more robust. Just going to shorten one of the ones, just a wee tad too long. A bit more robust, and if you do, there's times when the water is not so rough, and it's worth trimming this down a bit, because the fish do see it and they don't like it too much. And if you've got a bit of stem in there, it actually holds it up. But as you can see, you're using up your CDC feathers really well, getting the best of, say, both worlds, as I would say, because sometimes I tie them just with the stem. This gives you both. And it's just a simple tying method that works really well. And there we are, just a simple wee shuttlecock. Simple fly to tie. Trim this away. Yeah. So you can see, works really well. This is a good pattern right through the whole season, tied in different sizes. But in the spring of the year, I would certainly have a few of these in the box.